Hi there, everyone. This is Melissa from Encore, and today we've got Ryan McBee here from iSolutions. So he's going to be talking about collection management and payments for Dynamics 365 Business Central. Hi there, Ryan.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Hey, doing pretty good. Looking forward to showing Encore and all of your customers and prospects kind of what our app does. What I'm showing you right now is our app page out in the Microsoft App Store. Um, we have one of the top rated apps out there if you sort by rating. I think what separates us a little bit is we have a few different flavors of our app. The first flavor is basic payments, integrating on sales orders, running pre-auth, getting paid after the fact. The second flavor of our app we have is collections management. So that's really geared towards when people owe you money, like they're 30 days out or they're on terms. And then the third flavor of our app is like a customer facing portal where, it essentially does all the work and they make their payments and it comes right back into BC. So I think that's what separates us in the market. And I think for your clients and prospects, the benefit of our app will, eliminate duplicate entry, make mistakes, and just overall be more efficient. So that's what I'm gonna be showing you guys today.
Sounds great.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop into Business Central. And as I mentioned, we have a few different flavors of our app. The first thing I'm going to show you is our collections piece. And so I'm going to start by hopping in this window here called the Collections Manager. And essentially what you're seeing here as a Collections Manager is it's an AR aging with notes summarized by the customer level. So if I look here, it's saying, hey, I've got Encore here. They owe me, over $8,000. There's 8 open invoices, and I can see the different aging buckets. So if I scroll to the right, it actually shows me the last note that was taken on the account. So if I were wondering, maybe I'm upper management, I'm like, hey, these guys owe me a lot of money. Why has no one called on them? Then I can see the last time that happened right here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Encore, and I'm going to click on my fact box. And this fact box actually over here on the right shows you all the interactions with the customer. So you can see, I had a few interactions this morning as I was preparing for the demo. I had existing ones they would show down there. Then down here you see all my stats, and I do have reminder notes. So if I want to take a note on the record and follow up later, I can see all those notes right here. One thing that's nice about this solution is if you click on the aging bucket down here, the grid will dynamically change and show you kind of what makes up the aging bucket. So right here, I'm looking at everyone that owes me 90 plus days. So if I will click on 0 to 30, and then back to 90 plus. If you're a larger organization, you can assign collectors to each account. But right now, since I'm a smaller organization, I just want to hit view all, and then that's going to show me only the customers that I'm assigned to as a collector. So let's go ahead and click on Encore, because these guys owe me a lot of money and we need to get paid. So this window here is it's kind of a summary level information about the customer. So you can see all their open invoices. If they're past due, they're in red. I don't have any credit memos in here, but if I did, their credit memos would show up in this grid. So we have 2 different types of notes. There's a note up here, and this is at the header level of the customer. And then down here, we have what we call a more of an invoice specific note. So if I want to take maybe a note on these 3 invoices, I would highlight those 3. I would hit note, and let's go ahead and select an action ID. I could say, hey, I talked to Rico on the phone and he promised to pay me. So that's how I would take a note at the invoice level. Then you're going to see that that note got assigned all 3 invoices. One thing that our solution does have is if a customer calls in and is like, hey, I never got any of my invoices, or I lost them, whatever, you can highlight all these and hit send email. And our solution is going to email all those out in one swoop. So if you had different contacts at your company, you could say, hey, this is going to go to Rico, or this might go to John. So in this case, let's send these to Rico. You can add attachments. So maybe you would like to add something like, hey, here's your statement of work. It said you're going to pay me by 10 days or whatever, you can assign that as well. Down here in the grid, you can make one-time changes. So now let's go ahead and just hit send email. So I should have an email in my inbox waiting on me with all my past due invoices. But before I do that, our solution, you can actually pay these invoices by credit card. So I'm just going to highlight 2 of these old invoices, then I'm going to select iPayments. And then our default card is going to come on the window, and then I'm simply going to hit capture. And it looks like that was a bad card, so that decline, that's fine. So let's go ahead and open up my email. So I see we've got here's all the past due invoices that I've attached. There's my additional attachment I've included. If your customer wants to pay all those in one swoop, they could simply click our click to pay link and choose which invoices they're going to pay during this process. One thing that is nice is once they pay these, it does write back to Business Central automatically. So we have that functionality covered. So let's go ahead and close out here, then go back to our collections manager window. One feature that this does have is the ability to do batch processing. So really this comes into play when maybe you're on subscription invoicing or you have like a big range of invoices that you want to pay by credit card all at one time. So I'll see if I can get something to pull up here. Okay, so batch list. So I see I've got a couple there, and if I want to pay these by credit card, I would just simply, highlight these and then hit process, and then those would get paid by credit card. So one thing that is nice about our solution is we do have collection plans, and basically a collection plan does everything that I just showed you, but it's all automated. And so here's an example of our plan called standard, and you can tailor this to be whatever you want. So down here you see I've got a threshold. I can say, hey, I only want to send a reminder where someone pays me or when they owe at least $100. If I want to enter that, I would enter it there. In my filter, this is how I would want to filter by. So right now I'm saying I want to filter by due date, but I do have the option to do posting date or doc date. So I've got 2 different scenarios. The first scenario is basically just a reminder saying, hey, you have an invoice due within 5 days. And then the second one really covers anything from 0 to 10,000 days past due. So as I mentioned, these templates can be customized. You can assign these plans to different customers. In this example, I've got all these assigned. I'm going to go ahead and assign this to Encore. Let's go back here. So let's mean the Encore has assigned to the standard plan. You can kick this off manually, or you can schedule it, every day, every once a week, once a month, really however you want to do it. So in the example, I'm just going to go ahead and manually initiate the collection plan, and I'm going to run it for Encore. So it lets me know that it found documents for both the reminder and then the past due. So I did use my personal email address, so I should have an email popping up here soon. And here's one that says, hey, here's parental reminder. Here's all your invoices that meet this meet the past due bucket. And then I did create some invoices down here that are like due within 5 days. So this is what the due within 5 days would look like. So let's go ahead and hop back into BC. That really covers our collections piece of the app. What I'm going to show you next is we do have integrated payments on sales orders and invoices. So let's go ahead and hop back into our Encore customer. And before I do that, you can see where I have the option to assign collector. And basically all this is a drop down of just my users in the system. And then, if you have different collection plans, you can determine, which one gets assigned to Encore. So before I create an invoice, I'm going to go ahead and open up Actions and iPayments. And you can see I've got a new credit card stored on profile. If I wanted to enter an additional card, I would just go up here and enter a new card. I want to make that my default. I'll hit that toggle to be default. I'm going to hit Save Profile. Then I always recommend hitting Verify. That just lets you know that that was a good token that got passed through. So let's go ahead and open a new sales order. And we'll enter a line item here. And so really within a sales order or an invoice, we can hit a payment a lot of different ways. One way that we can hit it is through the payment service down here. We have our own click to pay link. The second way is we do work up this prepayment window down here. There is an option if you do a release of a sales order, it will automatically do an authorization. However, the most common way people use our app is by going to actions and then going up to iPayments and running what we call a pre-authorization. We do have the option for deposits, which is also another prepayment feature. So let's go ahead and run a pre-auth, and I'm going to select my card that I have in profile. You do have the ability to enter one on the fly, but I'm going to go ahead and select the one that I've got here in profile. So let's hit authorize. That lets me know that card was approved. And then what most people do in distribution, they might come in their sales order a couple days later and say, hey, great, I'm going to add $5 for my shipping charge. So just add $5, and then they're going to go ahead and post. They're going to do a ship an invoice. And we have this little dialog box that essentially says, hey, credit card submission was successful, the cash receipt was created, and let's go ahead and open up the posted invoice. So you can see our solution automatically closes out the invoice, makes the payment, and then we do have an option where we can write the payment amount on the work header description. And even though we originally did the authorization for $190, the payment ran for $195 because we added $5 of freight. So if I go to my email, I should have, here's my receipt. This can obviously be customized to look however you want. We pull, some of the logo and the company information from the company info window within Business Central. So there's the invoice that got paid. And so that really covers doing, integrated payments and collections. As I mentioned, there's a third flavor of our app. It allows customers to pay their own invoices. And we have a sync with a tool called Invoicecom. So I'm going to go ahead and sync up this one customer with Invoiced. And then let's go ahead and create a couple invoices, and I'm going to show you how that system works. Okay, so I've got two invoices that I've synced up with Invoiced, and this will essentially allow the customer to pay their own bill. So let's log in my invoice portal, and this is going to be what you guys see. This is not like the customer facing portal. So this just lets me know, hey, I've got one customer that I've synced, and then they actually owe me 2 invoices for totaling $573. Really, the most powerful tool with Invoice.com, it's got a tool here called Smart Chasing, and essentially it's AR workflow. So you can see right now I've got an 8-step sequence, runs every day at 7 a.m. Just go through a list of sequences just to make sure, to see what aging rules are applied. And I've got this assigned to all customers right now. So if I open up my invoice, if I open up my email, you're going to see those invoices coming through my system. And essentially how it works is your customer is going to get an email. It looks like this. Their invoice is attached as a PDF. And if they go to pay it, they can hit view invoice. And I think one thing that I really like about Invoice.com is it uses expirable links. So it's not going to require your end users to have a login, a username, and just really simplifies things. So if your customer gets an email and they've got a question about the invoice, they can route right here, say, hey Gab, not sure what this is. Can you please call me? Then that will get routed back to your AR team, and you'll be notified. If your customer wants to see their whole account, like their history, anything that's open, they would hit my account. And so I see, hey, great, I've got 2 invoices. If I click on the link, it will download them. But I'm going to go ahead and select the invoices that I want to pay right here. So I'm going to select these 2, hit next. And so one thing that is nice, I don't have this turned on, but Invoice.com does have the ability to pass along convenience fees. And you could say, hey, I'm going to charge my customer 1% or 2% if they're paying by credit card. Then if it's ACH, there's no additional fees. So let's go ahead and pay this guy with credit card. And I'd say one of the nicest things about Invoice is it can allow your customer to enroll in auto pay. And essentially what that means is anytime a new invoice is issued, Invoice.com will automatically run that payment when it's actually due. And it just eliminates, extra effort from your client and saves you time and money. So given that, I've really covered all three flavors of our app, the collections piece, the integrated payments, and then the Invoice.com sync. So I guess I'm going to, Melissa, you want to open up for questions?
Sure, yeah. So I've got the question pane open here if anyone wants to type anything in. I don't see anything in there at the moment,
Okay.
but we will be sending out a recording of this to everyone who registered, and they can also reply to that if they have any questions.
Okay, cool.
Okay, we ready to wrap it up then?
I am on my end.
Okay, that sounds good. Just wanted to make sure. Okay, we can give everyone a
Yep.
little bit of time back in their day, and we'll be sending out the recording soon.
Okay,
Thanks,
thanks
everyone.
guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.